Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Coco and I thought I would take you along for a week in the life. I'm going to be doing a lot of reading this week. I'm done with midterms and I got my grades back, all A's. So we're going to celebrate by reading some spooky books. I only have my Kobo with me today, so I'm going to try and find something on there that I can read while I'm here at school, and then I might switch to something different when I get home. I have plenty of spooky books that I need to read, but I also have books that I need to read on this Kobo. So I will take a look at what I have and also look on Overdrive on here for my library and see what they have. So it is Monday. I'm here early. It is 7:44. I have class at 8:35, so I've got a little bit to go. I'll probably have a little bit of time to read. I'll probably head to the building that my class is in and do some reading there. I'll let you know what I'm reading. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. It's supposed to be like a blustery day and a blustery week, which is perfect for the season. And we're also going to hopefully get some cozy stuff, like cozy fall stuff done this week. I got pumpkins I'm going to carve with Matt, and we're going to make some of those Pillsbury cookies that are like famous. The Halloween ones just taste better. I don't know what it is, but they do. So we're going to do that this week and obviously have some yummy coffee, do a bunch of fun fall stuff, and just enjoy the time of the year, because after that it's winter, which is better than summer because I'm not hot, but I also don't like being cold. And this is the only time where we have like a nice in-between. So let's go to class and I will catch up with you once I know what I'm reading. Hello friends, it is much later, and today was a very weird day because you probably already know about this. This was October 20th, which was the day that like a third of the internet went down on the East Coast, or like the eastern part of the US. I think it's global too that this happened, but I know that we were affected over in the Midwest and the East area a lot. So my Canvas, which is the way that I get on all of my school stuff, was down all day. So I couldn't look at my assignments and see what I needed to do or anything like that. So it was a little bit weird, especially because I still had classes the entire rest of the day. It went down at like 9. There's that. I did a little bit of reading. As you can probably see in my B-roll, I started Nestlings and didn't realize that it was like bug horror. I thought it was supposed to be like vampire babies or something. So I got about a chapter in and DNF'd that because that's a huge trigger for me. I don't like bugs. I started Harrow the Ninth, which is the second book in the Locked Tomb series, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I was pretty worried because going into it, I heard that it was like much more confusing than Gideon the Ninth, and Gideon the Ninth is kind of confusing. It's kind of like a fever dream a little bit, but I really liked that one, and I just wanted to stay in that world. But I've read some, like, it seems like an experimental type of, hold on. Anyway, so it goes, are you kidding me? Anyway, it goes back and forth kind of between present day after the events of the first book and before and like during. I haven't gotten very far in it. I'm only 7% in, but I am really enjoying it, and I don't think it's more confusing than Gideon. I kind of just went with the flow with Gideon the Ninth because I heard that it's best to just like let it happen. And I'm doing the same with Harrow the Ninth. But I'm having a good day besides the weirdness from school and having to catch up. I did some of my coding for my creative coding class, but I need to ask my professor about a couple of things because I'm not doing some things right. I got a good start on it. It's due in 6 days, but I don't exactly know what I'm doing yet. So I'm going to ask him about it tomorrow or Wednesday. And yeah, it's been a weird day so far. Hopefully that's not an omen for the week. Oh my God, she's being insane. Happy Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday. This is the first that I've talked to you guys today. I only have one class today, but my professor is a little high strung, and today I felt like he was like really high strung, and sometimes it makes me anxious. My ADHD doesn't do well when other people are also like all over the place, and I felt like I kept not knowing answers, which is not normal for me. I don't know, just a weird day. But I got through it. I got some work done. I spent like a couple hours just staring at my JavaScript for this analog clock that I had to make that I'll show you guys. It ticks along with the time, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I just had to tweak it a lot because the second hand wasn't hitting perfectly, and I'm a perfectionist and I don't know how perfectionist my professor is going to be when grading it, so I just made sure that it was up to snuff. I'm going to have him look at it before I turn it in, but I think I'm done with that assignment. I still have a couple other ones that are due this weekend, so I'm probably going to be busy doing that. But I also picked this out of my bookshelf. It is The Mist by Stephen King. This is one of his like books that I don't know if he wrote this in the 90s or if it's just this specific book that I own. It was printed in the 90s, but it's like a small town that this mist comes down on them and it's dangerous. It's not just like strange, it's also possibly malignant. So I'm really excited about that. It's definitely spooky vibes, great for Halloween. So I'm going to be reading that. I want to at least start it today, and I'm probably going to listen to a little bit more of Harrow the Ninth today too. I want to decompress and play some games on my computer, and I'm probably going to listen to Harrow the Ninth when I do that, and then do a little bit of schoolwork and read some of The Mist. I just got done finishing errands, and I'm going to head home. Class actually went up to the time that it's scheduled to, which is rare for my HTML and CSS class. But I mean, that's what it's scheduled for. But I'm going to go eat some lunch, decompress, and then I'll check in. Okay, so I know I am most definitely the last person to the party, but they now have 7-Up Shirley Temple. And obviously I get the zero sugar kind. And I want to try it on camera because I picked that up when I was doing my errands today. It's supposed to be pomegranate and cherry. Fun fact, I don't like cherries, but I like cherry flavored things. So... well, I don't like cherry, but I like cherry flavored pop. So, cheers. Pretty good. It's almost like, it's kind of like a cream soda, like a red cream soda, but different. There's a little bit of like, feels like it should be like whipped cream or marshmallow or something in it, which I know is probably wrong, but I like it. Also, it's pink and adorable. It's like a salmon-y pink color, which is one of my favorite colors. So, yum. I made a mistake before of getting the blackberry Diet Dr. Pepper, and it tasted like cough syrup. So I'm glad this one doesn't. But I am just doing some schoolwork. Come on, get up. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Say hi. Say hi, Sophie. Say hello. This is my favorite chair to sit in while Mom does stuff. So since I'm done with my work for now, I'm going to play some games and listen to my book and then do some physical reading. Hello. I am in the same spot. However, it is many hours later and I've gotten just about 50 pages into The Mist. We're at, I don't know, part 3, chapter 3, The Coming of the Mist. So things are about to ramp up. So far, first impressions, I am liking this book a lot. I haven't read a ton of Stephen King. From what I have read, it's been hit or miss, but this one's pretty good. It is an older book and it definitely feels dated in the way that it's written. And just like, I don't know, Gen X, or I don't know if he's a boomer. I don't know, just the writing of his characters definitely feels very Stephen King. And you can take that as a good thing or a bad thing. But I'm really liking the premise. I like how Stephen King can build slowly up to things and not have it be too boring. It did take me a minute to get into the book. So our main character is David, and he has his wife and his son, and they live like obviously in Maine because it's Stephen King. And sorry, Matt's going in and out of the house. He's got some stuff he's doing. I think he's bringing a new water jug in. But we got David, who is our main character, his wife Steffi, and their son Billy, which... that is a very generic name. Maybe it wasn't in 1980, but yeah, it just starts out with them. They live in kind of this little isolated area on the lake. They have a bunch of neighbors. Some of them have summer homes on the lake. They live on there permanently, and this storm rolls in, and it's just, it devastates a lot of the area. That's not where the mist starts, but it is like foreboding and kind of foreshadowing it and forcing them to go into town to like get supplies. And I think that's where we're going to be going as far as like the mist. So I'm excited to see where it goes. It is like spooky vibes. I love it feels like it's like fall in Maine, which it's fall in the Midwest right now, which is gorgeous. And I just picture it like with a bunch of fall leaves everywhere. So I know it's going to get spooky. I know it's going to get weird. It is a very short book. It's technically a novella, I think. It's only like less than 250 pages. So far, so good. And it's a quick read so far, which I kind of needed. I am woefully behind on reading this month. I had midterms. Things have just been nuts. School has been crazy and I've just been busy. So I haven't been doing nearly as much reading as I like. I got really spoiled in the summer. And I just hope I read a lot during winter break, because what else am I going to do? I'm going to read some more. Hopefully I am going to actually start editing this video as I go along this week, so it can be up as soon as it's done. And I will catch up with you. Okay, so I forgot my camera. So we are on my phone. I wanted to give you a quick update. This is probably all you're going to see from me until I get home, because I want to film on my nicer camera. But I wanted to let you know that I am like 40 and some change % through The Mist by Stephen King. Some of the things that are happening in this book, I'm not really understanding the decision making. I've heard inklings that there's even worse decision making coming up, so which I'm not excited about. And so far, like, especially the side characters feel a little bit like an archetype and kind of just like a stereotypical horror movie trope. Like, there's a young guy that is like real macho and is like, I'm gonna save everyone, or like, I'm gonna do this. Are you scared? The main character. Maybe in 1980 that wasn't as cliche, but it's just feeling maybe not lazy, it's just overdone. So we'll see as that continues how I feel about it. Right now it's looking like possibly a 3. We'll see. I am also 15% of the way through Harrow the Ninth, and I'm really enjoying it. I have listened to it exclusively on audio so far, because I like having a physical book and an audiobook, especially if I'm doing my coding work for school. I like being able to listen to something, and when I'm playing games, I like being able to listen to something. So I might end up switching to the physical book for that, but not until I finish The Mist. It is a very short book, The Mist, so I might finish it today. We'll see. I will catch up with you guys after I am home, because I am not going to be doing any more filming on my phone today. It's just not super great quality. All right, so I finished The Mist, and if you want to know how it went, I threw it after I finished it. How dare you, Stephen King? The main character was insufferable. The choices he made, which if you've read this book, or I don't know if the movie has this in it, but if you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. The decision that was made, and they had only, like, some of these decisions that he made, and they were only in this supermarket for like a day, floored me, and not in a good way. And this is my second attempt at reading Stephen King, and I don't think I'm going to be going any further. I have the Stand that I got at a secondhand store in Colorado, and I don't think I'm going to be reading it. I think that's going to be donated. Because what the actual hell? I can't believe I read 230 pages of that. It wasn't horrible to start with. I knew it was written and published in the 80s, and I took things with a grain of salt. However, the way that Stephen King writes fat people and writes women as either just gross for the former or sex objects for the latter is disturbing. I DNF'd Fairy Tale literally like 400 pages in years ago when it first came out. It's because he talked about women the same way in that. And just like, I did not find any of the characters likable in this. It was very, very just like, and I would have excused the ending if the rest of it was interesting and like made sense and gave me depth. It did not give me depth. It's funny because I read this published in 1980 and I attempted to read Fairy Tale, which I think was published in like 2022, and I read it like right around when it came out. His writing has not evolved. This is a bad case of men writing women, and it makes me sad. And it reminds me why I don't read as many male authors, because they have to be vetted, and he does not earn the stamp of approval from me. So I'm not a man hater. I love my husband. I love other men. I think there are men that are great. However, the way that a lot of men, especially boomer or like Gen X men, write women just is not for me. So I'm finished with that one. I am about 20% of the way through Harrow the Ninth. Nothing new to report. It's still a fever dream. It's still interesting. I'll update you more on that one when I have more information on it, when I've gotten through a little bit more. And I think I'm going to start another mass market paperback, except this one is going to be like a cutesy, spooky bed and breakfast mystery. So this book is the next one that I'm going to be reading. It's called In the Company of Witches by Orly Wallace. I've actually owned this for a while, several months, but I've been saving it for spooky season, so now is the perfect time to read it. And it is about Bryn, who lives in this tiny little town, and I think it's with her aunt. They run this, oh, hello, Jinx. Are you trying to be spooky and Halloween-like? She's a tortie. She just evokes Halloween. The Warren witches, which she's Bryn Warren, they run this little B&B and keep the town like magical and everyone's safe with their magic, and someone ends up dying in their B&B that they run. And our main character Bryn has to figure out who actually did it because her aunt is looking like the prime suspect, and you can't have that. So this is kind of like a cult, not a cult classic, but I feel like it's going to be a cult classic at this point, and I think it's going to be really cute. I'm going to try not to take it too seriously. It is about a little over 300 pages. I love the art on it. I think it's so fun and cute and very like retro looking, and it reminds me of some puzzles that I've done. I would love to have this as a puzzle. But I'm going to read that, and I'm also going to try and finish Harrow the Ninth in this vlog as well, although that one is long. That one's like over 500 pages, and I still have schoolwork I have to do before the end of the week. But this is going to be going up on Sunday, so I have up until Saturday if I need to, but I'd really like to not be editing on Saturday. So we're going to read In the Company of Witches, and we're going to continue with Harrow the Ninth. Good morning, friends. It is Thursday. I have my seatbelt on because I'm about to leave for school, and I just wanted to touch base. It is the last day of the school week for me, which I'm very excited about, and we're hopefully going to be getting some reading done today. I actually finished my last assignment for the week yesterday, so I don't have to do anything this weekend except for some research for a project that's not due for a while. It's just like an ongoing final project that we need to like consistently be doing research on, but I can do that casually, which makes me really happy. I'm wearing my Boo Bees sweater because I am 12, and also I think it's really cute. It's very cottagecore, which I love. And yeah, I'm in a good mood because I'm excited for the end of the week. I am so excited that it's finally sweater weather. I thrive in this weather. I know I sound very, very basic talking about that, but with chronic illnesses, which I know I probably talk about too much, it's hard to regulate my temperature, and it's easier for me to get warm from being cold than to cool down from being hot, and I just thrive. I wish that the winter was not snowy and was like more like an extended fall. I say that, but also the existential dread that would come with that, growing up with an actual winter and the implications of what that means. I wouldn't actually want that to happen, but in an ideal world, if it had always been the way where it's like 3 seasons, no, 2. I just want spring and fall, but I really need to move somewhere that is less extreme weather. You wouldn't think Ohio is, but we have really, really hot summers and really, really cold winters because we can't have anything nice. I haven't read anything else since I last talked to you last night, but I'm really excited to start my new book, In the Company of Witches, and also probably listen to more of Harrow the Ninth because I listen to an audiobook or like a podcast as I'm walking to class, because of course my classes are in the farthest building from where I can park. But I will catch up with you soon. Let's go do some school stuff and have some fun fall activities. I have a Maine Coon cat named Faustus. this book in the synopsis says that the aunt is going to be a suspect for murder, but the way she was talking about this guest and then the way the guest dropped dead still somehow surprised me. But we'll see how it goes, I guess. Good morning. It is the next day. It is Friday, and I have done some more reading. I have read about 30% up to like page 104 of In the Company of Witches, and it's really cute. I think it's perfect for the season so far. There are a couple little things that I'm not loving. Some of the dialogue doesn't feel very realistic or just like very natural. There is a bit of telling and not showing, talking head syndrome when it comes to dialogue, but for what it is, for what I'm reading it for, just like a cute, cozy, spooky Halloween style book, I'm really liking it. It's just one of the, okay, just flew out of my hand. I guess this book is haunted. It is exactly what you would expect it to be. It's a cute, cozy mystery, a witchy mystery set at a B&B. It is a handful of tropes bound up in a book, but it's honestly done better than a lot of like the book talk book tropes that I've seen. And this is one that I don't feel like has been overly hyped. You know what I mean? Like the romantasy, the dark romance, all of that. It's all fine and good if you like that, but I do think that it is getting a bit stale. This feels like going back to, I don't know, silly mass market paperbacks of like the 90s and the early 2000s. So I'm enjoying it. We'll see how the story plays out, if the mystery is good. There are some stakes in this, so while it is like cozy, you can see where the stakes are for the people involved. Her aunts do feel a little bit like cliches and kind of like they're trying to be the aunts from Sabrina, but maybe that's what the author was going for. I don't know. I'm gonna read some more. I'm gonna play some games. I don't have any assignments to do, I don't think, and I'm gonna try and get Matt to carve pumpkins with me tonight. Maybe that'll be the next thing that you see. Okay, this probably looks like a whole Dexter situation right now, but we are about to carve pumpkins. We're doing it in our garage because we have a table that we haven't yet brought inside because it doesn't fit. This is gonna be Matt's pumpkin. He's hosing mine down right now. I still haven't decided what I'm gonna do with mine yet. Pumpkin's getting a bath. You're gonna have to think about what your deadline is gonna be. We'll do something with fangs. Are you like Michelangelo? Good morning. It is Saturday, and I did finish In the Company of Witches, and we carved pumpkins, as you have seen already. I overall liked this. This book, what I really liked about it is it had an overall theme of like grief and facing your grief, not self-isolating during that time. And I think that that is really beautiful. I think that that as a central theme really helps me continue enjoying this book. It was a little bit, oh my God, my cats are going after birds outside. The writing was not the most incredible thing I've ever seen, but I think the central theme and just like the cutesy atmosphere of it was good enough and interesting enough that I would suggest this generally to people, especially if you're just wanting something atmospheric, maybe something that talks a little bit about grief in a way that it's not too in-depth, I guess. That's the other thing. It didn't really super go in depth. We didn't really learn about her husband very much. Yeah, it's in the synopsis. Her husband dies off page, it's way before we meet her, and she's been dealing with that. I don't feel like we get to know her husband Adam very much, which I wish we did through like flashbacks or something. They do a little bit of that in this book, but oh my god, my cat is wearing the blinds like a robe. Really, Jinx? I know there's bird TV, but good god. So it's not like a book that goes super in depth into those things, but I did enjoy it in general and would suggest it in general if you're just wanting an atmospheric read. And I would read something else by this author just for fun. I went into this not expecting it to be like my most favorite book of the year or anything, but it does fit the season very well. This was set in fall in a little tiny town. I think it's supposed to be kind of Stars Hollow-esque, Gilmore Girls-esque, and it definitely evoked that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. If you're wanting just like a cozy little mystery with no romance, thank God. Not everything needs a romance. I love romance, but not in my mystery books. It doesn't need to always be there. If you just want like a cute little straightforward mystery in a cute little small town set in fall around Halloween, then I would read In the Company of Witches. I would say I'd give it like a 3.5. I was leaning towards a 3, and then towards the ending, I think it really redeemed itself, so I added another half point. Whether I'm insane or not, have decided to add one more book before the end of the week, and that is Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. Now, I did already start reading this. I am 58 pages in. His books are generally pretty short, but I loved Lucky Day so much, and I have had this on my shelf for such a long time that I think I'm just gonna try and knock it out today. I hopefully will not go into tomorrow because I need to be editing and uploading it tonight. But Bury Your Gaze is basically about this main character, Misha. He's a writer for like a fictional, I think it's supposed to be like Warner Brothers. And he is a writer. He is gay. He has 2 women that are detectives in one of his storylines that the executives are trying to get him to kill off, which is Bury Your Gaze, is you don't let them have a happy ending. That's a very big trope in Hollywood, and he's really, really unhappy about it. So it kind of sets off this string of events, and all of his characters supposedly start coming to life, and it's a horror because they are doing some weird, horrific things. And you know Chuck Tingle, it's just going to be a wild ride. It's going to be incredible, probably pretty gory. I really liked Lucky Day, so I'm hoping this kind of captures the feeling that I had with Lucky Day a little bit. And I like Chuck Tingle's writing. I wish I could finish Camp Damascus, but it's got bugs in it. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to, but we shall see. Bury Your Gaze, it is only like 300 pages long, not even 300 pages, and I'm already at page 60, so I think we can knock this out today. I showered and I've read, and I'm over halfway through Bury Your Gaze, and this book is, I don't know if you can hear that, but she's scratching. This book is incredible so far. I love the message. I have been seeing a theme in Chuck Tingle's writing where, and this happens in a lot of horror, especially horror that has like a deeper meaning, where it's not just that there's this scary thing chasing you for no reason. The reason is usually something more sinister and more real life. I'm not going to go too far into it with this, obviously, because I don't want to give anything away, and obviously I'm not even at the end, so I don't know if what I'm imagining is really what's going to happen in the book. But he's such a thoughtful writer and explores these themes so well. The whole like Bury Your Gaze theme and being LA out but not Montana out, which makes a lot of sense. As someone who was raised in the Midwest, it can feel unsafe to be your true queer self. I know from personal experience, and you have to pick and choose who you tell. But also, are you doing yourself a disservice if you're not living authentically? And the answer is 99.999% of the time, yes. There's a quote in here also that is talking about horror. Our main character is a horror writer, and he goes to his high school reunion, and he's talking to these people, and this one guy is like, I think horror is just too much for me. I don't understand the meaning of it, and there's no depth to it, blah, blah, blah. And he goes through this whole tangent that I think you should read, but our main character, Misha, this part that really stuck with me, he says, there are scary things in the world, that's just a fact, and if you pretend they're not all around us, then you're in for a rude awakening. Horror offers a chance to recognize this truth, to explore dark places in a safe way. And I feel like that's really so true. A lot of the horror that I read has that connotation to it, and I really feel like I'm able to explore these things without feeling as much existential dread as I would in any other situation if I'm just reading a nonfiction or something else, because part of it is just fiction. Part of it is you can close the book and the story goes away. Obviously, we know that these themes that are explored don't just go away. There's, Night of the Living Dead is about racism, he mentions, and a couple of other things that I don't want to spoil for you, but it's just so thoughtful. And I know we don't know exactly who Chuck Tingle is in real life, but I feel like he's someone who is, besides being an author, which is art in its own right, he also, I feel like he has other creative outlets that maybe we don't know about because he keeps his identity hidden, and I think that's just really unique and really cool. I don't know if I would want to ever know who Chuck Tingle is because I feel like the mystery kind of helps keep it alive. And then he also has these like ridiculous books that he writes that I haven't read yet, but I feel like some of them are like satire, and I kind of want to explore those ones too. They're insane, they're crazy, but I don't think Chuck Tingle does anything without some sort of purpose. And I'm realizing that as I read more and more of him. And I think he's quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. And yeah, I'm just really excited to continue this book. And I hope that you pick it up if you haven't already. I can't say for sure, but I think this is gonna be a 5, which I was hoping to have at least 1 in this video. This is part of why I wanted to get one last book in before I post this video, because the other ones were okay. They were kind of mid. The Mist was just not great, but I'm really hoping that this ends up being a 5 because I'm really, really enjoying it so far, and I think Chuck Tingle is a genius. It's done. I finished it. I flew through Bury Your Gaze because this is absolutely a 5-star for me. Chuck Tingle is quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. I think I said that in my last clip. his horror is just incredible, and a lot of the themes that he has are like the systems of oppression and, you know, the capitalist hellscape that we live in and how that affects our lives, and it always stems back to that. And I think that that's just so realistic but also darkly funny, and I just really enjoyed it. This does include a little bit of like, it talks about the writer's strike, and it also talks about the writer's strike, and it also talks about like AI and AI actors, which when this came out, I don't know if they had the first AI actor, whatever they called her, but it's just really apt. And I was a little bit worried going in because I have this existential dread when it comes to like AI taking over. But the way that the way that he wrote this, I think was done really well. And it's kind of like Bat Eater and Other Names for Corzang, where I usually avoid books like that. Like that one I avoid the pandemic. This one I usually avoid like books about like AI taking our jobs, or, you know, everything is about the bottom line. But I think this was done really well, and I would highly implore you to read more Chuck Tingle if you haven't already. Okay, so editing Coco here. I just realized that I had talked about Harrow the Ninth throughout this entire video and did not give you any sort of wrap up for this vlog. I'm still reading it. That is why I did not give you any update. I also just forgot to update you on it. I got so into Chuck Tingle and the other books, and I've been listening to Harrow the Ninth, and I am not in school on the weekends, and that's usually when I listen to it, is when I'm at school or on the way to school or walking to class. So I will keep you updated on that in the next vlog. I am really enjoying it. I love the futuristic yet weirdly Catholic Renaissance imagery in the series, and it is a fever dream, but it's one that I'm very much enjoying. So let's get back to the rest of the outro, but I wanted to just update you and let you know that I did not forget about Harrow the Ninth. Also, as you could see, we have our spooky cookies. I've had these in the freezer waiting to make because I didn't get any last year, so I was like determined to get as many different kinds as I could this year, and it worked out perfectly. But just to reiterate, I also read The Mist by Stephen King, gave this a 2. Men writing women. Plot lines didn't quite make sense, and it just kind of fumbled the landing. This one was cute, In the Company of Witches. I'd say read it if you're interested in just a fun little romp that you don't have to take too seriously, and you want something spooky and just atmospheric and feels a little bit like Gilmore Girls. Read this. And then someone who has not yet fumbled the ending is Chuck Tingle, and I'm so glad I got a 5-star out of this video because I was getting a little bit worried. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this week in the life, this cozy, spooky, Halloween-esque video. I had so much fun making it, and I'm so excited for Halloween. It's Matt and my anniversary. We'll be 3 years married, and I'm just having a really great time right now. Gotta get my joy in before the winter sets in and it gets way too gloomy. So I'm gonna sign off here. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much if you've made it this far. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!